Greetings! Today we're back with another hobby challenge, and it might be a bit of a special one because today I will actually be using miniatures that are, what they're supposed to be. I will be using some actual Steel Legion guys, not these poor fellows like the three poor survivors from my youth, kind of worn, but rather some made to order ones. They were on made to order in 2021. And I got some. I think this was like the second thing I got when I got back into Warhammer, and they will be used. And I can't say that I didn't start this challenge in time because I actually, I bought the miniatures in 2021. I found some pictures of me making a plan in January 2022, and most of them are actually, it might even be like the full team in this box, because there are like miniatures and some bits in here. And if I'm not mistaken, there were some sort of instructions in this little book on how to build them. I am, however, quite certain that there is some sort of connection between these guys and Armageddon, which is the theme of this challenge. They might be from Armageddon, or they're fighting on Armageddon, or perhaps both. Or I think there were even like I think there was a book called Armageddon, and these guys were in it, or they were mentioned, or they were made for it, or something. I can't even remember if I actually got the book or had the book or not, but who cares? Kit bashing on hard mode. Here we go. So the plan here is quite simple. It's to follow the plan. Whatever I think says in this book, and the pictures that I found depicting metal miniatures together with some plastic bits and things, and I think I can figure out which one is supposed to be which one, because I still got the original Octarius book here, and I will be doing whatever this book says, because I haven't really kept up with the kill team rules for quite a while, perhaps a year, two, probably even more than that. I've mainly been playing Imboy, which is it's pretty much kill team more time in essence, but I will be doing a team that is legal through this book. Sorry if that might not be like the up-to-date standard. Anyway, and then there is also a sort of special surprise here on the color scheme as well, but more on that later. Let's get cracking. So let's have a look in the box here, shall we? We got the little book thing and a bunch of metal guys together with some plastic bits. So we can find something in here. No. Oh yes, we got something. 10 guys, I think. Flamer, grenade, sniper, sergeant, demolition, spotter, comms, medic, plasma, and zealot. No leader? Perhaps it's a sergeant, actually. That's probably the leader. Okay, so that's what we got. No really instructions there, but it's supposed to be these guys in here. Is it 10 guys? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, we got 10 dudes, and I think this guy is even done, pretty much, at least conversion wise. I don't think I'll show too much today. I'll probably show them like looking how they looked before doing anything, and together with the plan, like the little picture showing what little plastic bit goes with which one. And then I'll show them like this, how they look after applying all the green stuff and little plastic bits. And then finally, of course, I will also show them how they look like when they have been painted. Yeah, let's get cracking. So now the conversions are done, so let's have a look at them before we move on to basing and colors. let's start in this order here with the least conversions first, and this guy is the pure winner when it comes to least conversions. There is nothing going on here. It's the grenade launching guy, and he has his grenade launcher. Nothing done, or mode line removal and stuff like that, but otherwise nothing. This one is pretty simple as well. I can tell there is quite a lot of glare here, but it's hard to show a pure metal miniature without all the light being reflected back. I hope you can tell what it is. And this is quite a regular guy, together with a radio on his back. You can probably tell that he's the comms guy. I certainly hope that you can. And there's nothing else going on really. Quite simple. This is, I think, some AdMech backpack, but I mean, it really looks like a radio. Perhaps the AdMech guy has a radio as well. I can't remember. And then we got the medic, which is, yeah, it's also quite basic. It's just a regular guy with some pouches and stuff strapped on there, because that's what the medic has. He has things that he can patch people up with. And I suppose I would paint them in some sort of color that makes them stand out a bit. Otherwise, it's just a regular dude. Just like the Zealot, which is also a regular dude with some pure, or what do you call it, purity seals that I had lying around at the time. But I also added a bit, 2 bits from, or 3 bits from the Empire Flagellants. I did not have that kit at the time, but I felt that those actually make quite a difference when you should be able to tell that this is the crazy guy. Yeah, but I think it turned out quite nice. Then we have this spotter, which is the rocket launching man without the rocket launcher, and he was gifted this last gun arm from the sergeant because it looks so silly on the sergeant. And I did not have a spare las gun because I don't have any other Imperial Guard. And for a spotting device, he has got some sort of Space Marine rocket launcher sight there. And yeah, it looks like he's spotting something. And speaking of the sergeant, he has got a totally different arm. He got a, well, once again, AdMech arm. But that obviously did not have the right kind of weapon, so I switched the weapon for a bolt pistol. And I think this pose looks so much more natural than when you have this arm in front of here. It's just like, you know, I don't know what he's doing. It's like pointing 2 things in the same direction. It looks like he's fending off something. Anyway, I think this looks so much better, and I'm quite happy. Then we have the explosives guy. It's probably called something else in the actual book. But I think this is quite nice. It was one of the 2, well, actually the only conversion that I did back then in like 2022. And he has got his shell here with some detonators strapped on there. Obviously ready to deliver some explosives somewhere where needed. And he has also got a spare one on his back. You know, because 1 is probably not enough. Then we get to the actual conversions, and here we have the plasma rifle, which is, you know, the regular rifle just cut off, and once again a bit of AdMech thing added on. I can't really tell. I think it's some kind of, yeah, whatever it is. I think it's some part of a sword or something, like a power sword or whatever they're called in AdMech world. And he has also got a thing on his back that I did not have at the time. I found it among the bits. I think it's some sort of vehicle thing. But it really looks like a little plasma generator on his back, which is handy, you know, if you're just a pure human, poor human trying to carry a rifle, plasma rifle thing around. I don't know how it gets from over there to here, but yeah, no, it's, you know, it's in the far future. Then we have probably my favorite, actually, the sniper, who, once again, it's the regular rifle, just cut a bit off there and added something else. And you might have a hard time telling what it is, but if I turn it upside down, it might be easier. This is, once again, some sort of AdMech rifle that I cut off and put it upside down. I think it's a magazine, but it really looks like the scope thing here, and This other part here is actually also some sort of AdMech rifle cut up. And yeah, I just think it turned out quite neat. And finally, we got the most ambitious of the conversions. And well, once again, it's the rifle cut off. But this is the flamer. So this is a part of a flamer from a Space Marine flamer. But it was a bit too large, so I had to, you know, squeeze it in here a bit and file off some bits, just to make it not to look too silly. And then I did a sort of regular thing with my flamers. I really love to do this. I used the tubes. I think the tubes are from the actual loader. He's supposed to have it on his back, but I think this guy needed more tubes. But now there are, you know, tubes containing flaming stuff. A little other things here, making it looking really ambitious. And then I got this cord. I really love to use this sort of wire from you know, like this electrical kit. It's kind of reasonable at scale, and yeah, it's bendy and bendy enough, but still kind of hard. But I usually, you know, I put it in the hole here, and I use the regular plastic glue, or the plastic cement. Obviously regular glue there, and then I also, most often I try to glue it on somewhere on the guy as well, to give it a bit more stability, because once it get painted, you don't want the paint to crackle when you sort of handle the figure. Yeah, I think I'm quite proud of that guy. Mostly proud of this guy, but yeah. So anyway, let's move on to the basing. Yes, they will get, you know, just regular kindergarten playground sand together with some PVA glue. Unfortunately, there was a little mishap. I had dropped the salad on the floor, but I took the time to actually rearrange things a bit and put a little book in here, which is quite a simple one. I mean, it's just a piece of leftover green stuff that has been wrapped in a piece of, well, I think thick paper or thin cardboard, depending on how you define it. But it really looks really nice because it looks worn, like he's like dragging this little book around forever and ever, which is probably true. Yeah, now you can see the basing as well. Just pure regular kindergarten sand. Awesome. So now they are painted in a paint scheme that probably won't please the judge at all. They prefer much more traditional paint jobs done well, but it does not really matter. All since I got this the original book here, the 2021 book, I've been inspired by this artwork, and I thought at some point in time I would do a kill theme inspired by this, and now is that point. I don't care if I finish last. That's not really an issue. So that's it. I mean, I do not have any footage of this because I thought, you know, who cares? It's 3 colors, actually it's just 2 colors applied over 2 colors applied over a third color, and I thought, how interesting would that be for anyone? But I realized at the time, you know, actually using just 3 colors presents its own set of problems. So I might actually do a tutorial on that if I feel like doing that. But let's get back to kit bashing metal miniatures, because I think that's the main theme here. And is it harder than plastic ones? Well, I would say so, but I mean, it wasn't that hard actually. I was quite surprised actually. I did quite a large lump of green stuff that I sort of ended up using just strapping onto the base, and pretty much didn't use anything else. And I was quite surprised, but when I think about it, I think it was due to the fact that I did a proper plan first. And even though I took this team from 10 regular dudes to a fully recognizable kill team, all I did was actually adding bits or modifying sticky outer bits. So I didn't have to get into like the core of things, which I think was a good idea, because I mean, it is harder to do metal miniatures. To a large extent, it's actually down to not being able to use this plastic cement, which is a really handy thing, because then you have all the time in the world to actually modify things. You can move them back and forth, and you can actually sort of squeeze them in there, and they sort of mold themselves together in a really nice way. You can still use them though, the plastic cement. You can, if you have a plastic bit like this and you have a metal bit, you can use the plastic cement on the plastic bit and you sort of rub it on there so it will fit to the metal one, but then you have to go back with the actual glue, which is a pain actually, to get it fit there. And when you're speaking of that, you know, if you glue something onto a metal bit, make sure not to leave the metal part sort of flat or like really smooth, because you need something for the glue to grip onto. So just make a little pattern with any sort of tool. You need a knife or I mean a file. That's the main thing you really want to have here. And you need a small one, like a miniature one, because I mean, even though it is metal and it's harder than plastic, it's by metal terms it's really soft metal, and they're tiny. So using a sort of regular wood shop one, it will just create a total mess actually. But you can actually also cut it with a knife, but you have to cut small pieces at a time, and don't use a knife that you actually care for, because it will ruin it, even though the metal is soft. You mainly want to use clippers actually when you modify things, at least at first. Clippers first, perhaps a knife then, and then finally the files to grade things down. And speaking of filing things, one pro tip, if I can say pro tips because I'm not a pro, is to use a little tray. If you have the same situation as me where your hobby space doubles up as an office, well, you do not want all this metal grading all over the place. Yeah, that will really ruin your office experience. As you might have noticed, I have not done a video in quite a while. It is simply that I did not feel like making one, so I didn't. But I could not resist this opportunity, because I literally had this project started years ago and I want to finish it, which I did, and it was great. I really enjoyed it, and that's the important part. Don't forget to enjoy your hobby.